Okay, so let's talk about your brain. Not the big, complex biological stuff, but the hidden rules it runs on in the background. We're going to unpack 4 really simple ways you can take manual control and get past some of those mental blocks we all run into.
Have you ever had that feeling where you know exactly what you should be doing, but you just don't do it? It can feel like you're actively sabotaging yourself. But what if it's not you? What if it's just your brain running on its default settings? I mean, think about it. That little pause before you speak up in a meeting, that's hesitation. Spinning your wheels on a simple choice until it feels huge, that's overthinking. And that invisible wall that appears right when you're about to start a big project, that's the fear of starting. These aren't character flaws, they're literally the brain's factory settings, designed to keep us safe and save energy.
But here's the great news. You're not stuck with the old software. You can absolutely install an update. So let's jump right into the very first tool for your new mental toolkit.
Okay, so our first target is that absolute killer of all momentum, hesitation. It's that tiny little gap between an idea and an action, right? And it's in that gap where all our excuses and doubts love to hang out. So to get past this, we're going to use something called the 5-second rule. See, research shows that you have about a 5-second window before your brain slams on the brakes with worry and excuses. This rule is basically a manual override. It's a way to hijack that process and just go.
And the way it works is incredibly simple. You feel that instinct, that little nudge to act on a goal. The second you feel yourself hesitate, you start a countdown in your head. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now here's the most important part. When you hit 1, you have to physically move. You don't think about it, you just do it. So, imagine your alarm goes off for a morning workout. Your brain immediately starts listing all the reasons to stay in bed. Don't even argue with it. Just start counting. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And just swing your legs over the side of the bed. By just standing up, you've broken that pattern of hesitation. You've won the first battle. All right, let's move on to our next rule. This one is all about tackling those huge goals that feel completely overwhelming. We tend to think we need some kind of massive, heroic action, but the real secret lies in tiny, consistent improvements. This idea comes from James Clear's fantastic book, Atomic Habits. The whole concept is that these small, almost unnoticeable improvements start to compound on each other. Getting 1% better today doesn't feel like a big deal, but over time, the effect is absolutely staggering. And yeah, look at that number, 37 times better. I know, the math seems a little unbelievable, right? But that is the real power of exponential growth. Progress isn't linear. It's a curve that starts slow and then suddenly shoots skyward. To make this feel more real, think about reading. The goal to read more books can feel pretty big and vague. But what about the goal of reading just 1 page today? Anybody can do that. Well, you do that every day, and suddenly, by the end of the year, you've read 365 pages. That's a whole book, maybe 2, without ever feeling like you were doing something difficult. Okay, rule number 3. This is about a force that's constantly shaping your behavior, whether you notice it or not. Your environment. It's totally contagious. This is a really big concept in social psychology. Your brain is essentially a master of adaptation. It's always scanning your surroundings to figure out what's normal here. And then, without you even realizing it, it starts to adjust your own behaviors to match. It's a survival instinct you can either let control you, or you can design it to your advantage. I mean, just look at the comparison here. If everyone in your social circle just scrolls on their phones and complains, your brain starts to think, okay, this is what we do. This is normal. But if you surround yourself with people who work out, who read, who are building things, your brain recalibrates. It starts to see those activities as the new normal. So the bottom line is this: willpower is limited. It's like a battery that runs out. But your environment is working 24/7, constantly pushing you in one direction. The easiest way to change your habits, by far, is to build an environment where the good behavior is the default path. And that leads us right into our final rule, which is all about busting one of the biggest myths that holds people back: the myth of motivation. We've all done this. We're sitting there waiting for that magical lightning bolt of inspiration to hit so we can finally clean out the garage or start that project. We treat motivation like it's this special guest that has to arrive before the party can start. But we've got the whole sequence completely backward. And here's the secret, and honestly, this is a total game changer. Motivation is not the cause of action, it's the result of action. The simple act of starting, even in the smallest possible way, is what creates the momentum and that feeling of motivation we thought we needed to begin. And here is the perfect little trick to use this secret, the 10-minute rule. See, your brain isn't really afraid of the work itself. It's afraid of starting the work. So you make a deal with it. You say, look, we're just going to do this for 10 minutes. Anyone can do anything for 10 minutes, right? And the magic is, almost every time, once those 10 minutes are up, you've generated enough momentum and motivation to keep going. So, as we wrap things up here, let's bring it all together. This isn't about some massive, painful life change. It's just about taking back control. And the key to unlocking all of this really comes down to what you choose to do with your first 10 minutes. So here it is, your new mental toolkit. You've got the 5-second rule to just blast through hesitation. You've got the 1% effect to build unstoppable momentum. You can shape your environment to put good habits on autopilot. And you've got the 10-minute rule to kill procrastination before it even starts. All 4 of these rules really point to one simple truth. The biggest barrier is never the task itself. It's just the act of starting. So, I'll leave you with a question. What's that one thing you've been putting off? What will you give just 10 minutes to right after the sentence?